Since July 6th, coverage of the recently released augmented reality game Pokémon GO has been clogging up the media in the form of positive and negative news stories. We've heard about how the game has encouraged its users to get outdoors and explore undiscovered places in the neighborhood and beyond. We've heard how the game has helped shy and autistic people connect with fellow Pokémon gatherers all around the world, uniting people of varied backgrounds under a common mission to catch 'em all. Yet, in equal measure, we've also heard more nefarious tales, incidents of muggings, of users getting lost while playing the game and needing rescue, of trespassing, and general complaints of how trainers have become oblivious to all but their smartphones. But putting aside the incessant good versus bad argument, it seems to me that what does unite both factions is their joint surprise at the game's enormous and unexpected popularity. In my opinion, what the success of Pokémon GO really reveals to us is not just what powerful marketing can achieve, but what the game tells us about the underlying psychology of the world at this moment in time. Pokémon GO, I argue, owes its enormous success to the need for escapism in our daily lives against the backdrop of rising xenophobia in the US and Europe, global economic uncertainty, and violence in wars and terror around the world right now. In this context, the desire to escape into a more fictitious, augmented world takes on an entirely different resonance. According to a recent LA Times article, the enormous numbers surrounding Pokémon GO can be attributed to the game's appeal to a diverse cross-section of society. The article cites research conducted by the firm M4 that reveals how 34% of users had never played a Pokémon game before, and how the adoption percentage of the game is higher when it comes to African Americans and Latinos, who together make up the 1/3 of respondents who were minorities. These are figures that stand in stark contrast to the 32% of Caucasian respondents that are playing a Pokémon game for the very first time. Indeed, the same can be applied to the game's adoption among female players too. Of the 500 women questioned, a staggering 47% of them had never played a Pokémon game before, in contrast to 21% of male newbies. Another statistic that leaps out is the fact that 83% of Pokémon GO's players are millennials between the ages of 18 and 34. So, what exactly do these statistics reveal to us about the state of our society at the present time? For me, what these statistics reveal is a generalized need for escapism in the world, especially when it comes to sections of society that are being demonized by politicians and the media on a daily basis.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
For the increasingly marginalized and voiceless, the desire to escape into a friendlier version of our reality seems entirely unsurprising. Viewed against the current political backdrop, especially the rise of Trump, whose campaign has been driven by a rhetoric of fear and hatred, the success of Pokémon GO takes on a particular resonance. When the current election cycle is being overshadowed by divisive language and fueled by the nativist us versus them debate, with calls to expel Muslims, Mexicans, and other non-Americans, then if one were to choose an opportune time to release Pokémon GO, then the game's release date would seem like a pretty good bet. Pokémon GO's inherent inclusiveness, its mass appeal, and its lightheartedness make for the perfect antidote to the more toxic elements of contemporary life. Pokémon GO is the ultimate equalizer. Every trainer is unified under the same mission. The game's maps are an open expanse, without borders or boundaries. Players have even ventured into normally off-limit areas, with a gym even appearing along the Korean demilitarized zone. Pokémon GO has erased borders. There is no wall blocking Mexicans from playing Pokémon GO, or stopping them from engaging equally with other players. It's a version of reality where Black lives really do matter. Pokémon GO has arguably engaged with more people than most politicians. Perhaps it's for that very reason that so many millennials are drawn to the augmented world of Pokémon GO. In the US, young people feel disenfranchised and unrepresented by the media. In the case of the recent Brexit referendum in the UK, the 75% of 18 to 24-year-olds who voted to remain felt completely screwed over when a decision that would directly impact their future was taken by voters over the age of 65. It's unsurprising that millennials are drawn to Pokémon GO out of nostalgia for their simpler, less chaotic childhoods when the franchise was at the peak of its popularity. When it comes to the game's high adoption rate among women, and its praise from gender fluid groups for letting players choose a style rather than gender, then it seems what Pokemon Go really symbolizes is freedom in an era when controversy surrounds a person's choice of public restroom, when misogyny and xenophobia abound, and when walls and fences are being put up everywhere. With this in mind, the fact that Pokemon Go works as a pleasant escape from reality, and lets you wander freely without judgment, is anything but trivial.